Triple Bypass Racing is a NASCAR-inspired iRacing league founded by a group of friends, some of who have been racing together for more than 20 years. They are an inclusive group of sim racers who enjoy competition based on respect for fellow drivers and fun on and off the track. Triple Bypass is building a great community and a place for you to race for years to come. Join them today by visiting triplebypassracing.com. November 19th, 2023, the Triple Bypass Gen 4 Series roared into the Talladega Superspeedway for a high-octane race, marking the 10th race of the season. The race was co-sponsored by John Crutchley and Jason Benson and streamed live by our friends at JP Broadcasting. In a heart-pounding battle that unfolded over 70 laps, the Talladega track witnessed intense competition with 16 different leaders and an astonishing 31 lead changes. The race was a spectacle with only 3 caution periods covering just 9 laps, allowing for thrilling, non-stop action. Number 40, Ryan Hyatt, starting from the 14th position, emerged as the star of the day. With a total of 47 points, including 46 race points and 1 bonus point, he navigated the challenging track and led for 3 crucial laps, including the one that mattered the most at the finish line. Jeff Slaughter in the 46 machine was only 0.08 seconds behind the leader and secured the second spot. Slaughter's performance earned him 43 points, 42 race points, and 1 bonus point. He ran near the front the entire race, but only took the lead for a single lap. In a close third was Sean Bradley, just 0.09 seconds off the lead. The 77 car accumulated a total of 42 points, with 41 race points and 1 bonus point. He was committed to the highline lap after lap, and it paid off with 2 laps led and a podium finish. Race co-sponsor Jason Benson, the pole sitter, claimed the 4th position, and Dustin Barton rounded out the top 5. This race at Talladega Superspeedway was a spectacular showcase of talent that resulted in epic green flag battles and, of course, a wild run to the checkered flag. In the end, it was Ryan Hyatt who crossed the line first, making this race an instant TBP classic. We hope you enjoyed this Triple Bypass Gen 4 Series recap. We'll see you next time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in here for the sexy Waltrip 127 here. It is Gen 4s at Richmond Raceway in the Triple Bypass Racing League. It is a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval here. Should be a good Sunday night race here. On commentary, it is myself, Bradley, and I am joined by Dean Biggles yet again. Dean, how are you on this Sunday evening?
Good evening. Yes, busy. Casting, but back, of course, casting for the fantastic Triple Bypass. And the sexy man himself, up in the 127 machine up there in the corner, of course, is our track sponsor today. So good to see him as well as the Carl. He's not just that, isn't it? He's also our today's race sponsor. So Carl's everywhere. The number 27 machine, we'll have to keep an eye out. More than anything, my dear friend, is that we have to keep an eye out how those live standings happening in this very league.
Yeah, live standings in the league, and it is our sponsor, that Kyle Grzech, the sexy Waltrip. Go find him on YouTube and subscribe and support him for sponsoring this race tonight. After 10 of 12 races, he is currently in the lead, 56 points up, 1 win, top 5s, 8 top 10s, and 10 starts. Marty Rogers there at 2nd place, Ben Harcum 3rd, and then it's John Campbell and Dustin Barton rounding out our top 5 in points here in this Triple Bypass Racing League on their Sunday night Gen 4 series. And we should have a good run here at Richmond Raceway. We've been watching practice for the last little bit. Drivers have been practicing for about the last 45 minutes, getting rounded up for a 170 lap race. And you might say, 170 laps, that should last a while. It's going to move real quick because the average lap time I'm seeing here is about 22 seconds a lap as I've been watching the cars on board.
Yeah, that's the remember practice session still remaining about 5 minutes and change, and there it is, 22.19 as Barney is just admiring everybody at the moment with the green flag in his hand. Oh, there is a bit of tango and beef happening between these drivers at the moment. That's because they're having a lot of fun, I would imagine. Just try to get it in there. World out there in the chat. World 10, hello once again. He is our safety car reporter down there, aren't you? Or pace car reporter. He's saying over and under on yellows, I'd say 7. Let's see if we can get that prediction correctly. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Costs you absolutely nothing. Just type in the chat what your predictions will be. So what's over and under a 1, you're saying? So it's either a 7, 8, or 9. I feel like I'm playing a craps game, isn't it? 7 or 11?
I'm going to call it 4. I'm calling 4.
You're calling it 4? All right. So you're calling it 4. I'm going to have to go mid here on this one and go, say, 6. So,
hey, they kept it clean in Dega.
They did, didn't they? Yeah. Well, and we saw the recap. Was it 3? I believe.
I believe it was
Yeah.
3.
I do love those recaps that are well put together here at the lovely Triple Bypass Racing League. You don't see that in many. I don't think you see that in even professional racing leagues, which this is a professional racing league, but you know what I'm talking about. Ones that have a little bit more coin in their back pocket, per se.
Yeah, and I think that is put together by one of the league members. I'm trying to look and see exactly who does it.
Yeah, we need to find out, because I do apologize for not knowing who it is, because that's a lot of effort they put into that. They're looking at all the race recap, all the replays and stuff like that. They're not just, snipping pictures from the actual race broadcast that we put on. They're actually going through there and capturing some of those moments separate to it. Means that also takes a lot of work, It's a lot of effort they put in, and it's very, very nice to see a league that's got members that are that dedicated to put something in like that. And it's the same way here with Triple Bypass, even for just getting drivers on. Kyle Grzech, today's race sponsor, he sponsors this race, which means that Sexy Waltrip here is responsible for us having a race today. He sponsors out the race to make sure that the drivers can have the server have the session. And that's a cool, unique thing about Triple Bypass is, they pull in sponsors for each race and they recognize them here. Kyle Grzech, again, today's sponsor, and a big shout out to Sexy Waltrip. What do you say we pull in Kyle Grzech in and just have a quick couple minutes of chat with him? Excellent, because I have a little term I'm going to use for him this evening here. So let's pull him in, of course. A couple of minutes left.
Yeah. Let's grab him here.
It's only practice at the moment, so not going to affect his qualifying.
Yeah. We might have caused him to spin here, though.
Oh,
hey, Kyle, Kyle, it's Brad and Biggles in the booth. How you hear us?
Hearing you all fine. How's it going?
Did we cause you to spin across the line there, Kyle?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll blame you guys.
You are today's race sponsor, of course. Thank you very much for that. Is that also a picture of yourself that somebody put up there in the 127 machine? Just a sexy man?
Oh no, that is a Michael Waltrip on Dancing with the Stars in like the late 2000s.
Oh, wow!
And he's wearing a bikini top.
Any relation?
Nope.
No. Okay. Fair enough.
The story behind the Sexy Waltrip is that was my Discord profile picture when I joined these guys, and the first thing someone said is, "Who is this Sexy Waltrip?" And then the nickname stuck.
Now, I was gonna say a pun, which I'm gonna do during the broadcast, my friend. Waltrip. How many trips around the world do you think we're gonna have this evening in our 170 lap race? 127.
We're doing 127 miles, so I don't know how far it's gonna get you.
Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, are you gonna be tripping into the wall, or is the wall gonna be coming out and biting you? What's gonna happen there? I mean, you're looking good in the standings at the moment too, my friend.
Yeah, we're P3, but we've got about a quarter chunk of a second. Try to gain on Mr. Justin Bentley here.
That's only practice, mate. That's not qualifying.
Hey, he's quick, and if I'm not beating him in practice, then I'm worried.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you're our sponsor today, so you got a little bit of a fan boost out there. Any predictions on safety cars? Because World out there is saying people say about 7.
Yeah, he did say about 7. I will say I think we have a good track record, and I'm probably going to jinx it now, but we have a good track record of not having a lot of cautions at difficult racetracks. I feel like if we have a difficult practice session where a lot of people are spinning, I feel like everyone kind of mellows out, but maybe the differing lines going in the corners and the bumpers not lining up might lead to a couple cautions here.
Oh, damn, real quick, I wanted to actually get a hot lap around this track with you on a practice, but we don't have time, of course, because it's 5 seconds. So what we'll do is let you go, unless Bradley, any last questions to our today's race sponsor?
No, just good luck, Kyle, and look forward to seeing you on track here.
Yep, home track. I'm 15 minutes from here, 3 corners, so.
Oh, we're crashing at your house later on after the race. Thank you.
And that was Kyle Grzech, the Sexy Waltrip, sponsoring this race today. Hearing from him, again, follow him up on YouTube, Sexy Waltrip, and he is bringing this race forward, making sure this is happening. And again, our points leader here, doing real good at keeping things moving forward. So let's keep things moving forward here as we get set up with 5 minutes qualifying. Drivers get to put in 2 laps to do the best they can, and we are riding on board here, I believe, with Sexy Waltrip.
Yeah.
If I am not mistaken, Biggles.
That we are. Go ahead, my friend. Give us a lap or 2 or 3 or 4 around here in the qualifying session.
All right, you're going to see it here as he gets ready to go. He's going to run around the high side and warm this car up. You heard him say it's his home track, and it's 3 corners. It truly is, because it's a D-shaped oval. So you got turns 1 and 2 here where you're really going to hug it in low and just hold on down. Bring it up, and the fun thing with these Gen 4 cars, get it up against the wall. How brave do you want to be up against the wall? If you're not rubbing some paint on the wall, you're doing it wrong. Come in 3 and 4, you're going to hold that left turn, but instead of straightening it out, you're going to hold on to it here. Oh, he gets a little bit loose, but he catches it out of 4. But that is going to mess up Kyle Grzech there for that second lap. But 22.371 is not too bad there for qualifying, currently setting him up for a fairly good run. And you can see him again coming out 2 here, holding on to it. Into 3, little dab of the brakes there just to get the car rotated. Come around, and again, you don't completely let out of the wheel coming out of 4. It's still got that slight left-hander in it. So you're not going to completely straighten out. There's only one little spot of the track where you straighten out, and hey, that's how you end a qualifying session, I reckon. And Grzech is showing for P4 for me at the moment, tied with Mark Herzog in a 22.371. 2 drivers, identical times. And hey, Kishanen and Corey have set 22.494s, so we've got 4 drivers that have a very identical times here as we watch drivers just continue to go through. We got a few more drivers to put in their laps. Ooh, Justin Bitley.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. I didn't realize the reason why the names are actually, because it's getting me confused on the technical background and the production trailer going, why is that happening? I'm sitting there going, have I done something wrong? I realize it now. It's because they are identical times. That's the reason why. The live timing tables go on, I don't know, put one over top of the other. There it is. So thanks for allowing that one. We still have 2 drivers. We have Matt here, the sole, not the sole Canadian driver. He is another Canadian driver, Dustin down there. Marty Rogers is out on track as well. No, he's finished it. Joshua is about to wrap up his. And then, just like that, 3 laps qualifying, over and done and dusted. And look at that, you saw Kyle. So he made a mistake. And because it's short qualifying and only a few laps, that compromises all of your laps, doesn't it? That's it. You got to get it perfect from the start.
Yeah, qualifying and iRacing, especially when you've just got these 2 hot laps to put it down, it's very unforgiving. Any small mistake, and it just completely compromises your qualifying and knocks you out. Joshua comes across 23.0, so slowest car on the grid at the moment. But, hey, 23 is still a respectable time through. We've got Dustin and Cameron left to put in times that I'm showing on the timing boards here. So 2 drivers left to put in times that I can see. But, hey, respectable times all the way through the field. Whole field separated by less than a second here, Dean. And a very, very tight grid means some very, very competitive racing coming our way for those 170 laps here around this 3/4 mile track.
It's a lone qualifying, so, you know, they won't have the other drivers out on track, of course, to throw you off if they spin it into a wall. On board with Dustin at the moment. You can see 100 and something. No, there is it. So that's it. Once again, it's unfortunate. So Dustin's made a mistake, and there's not enough time to build up the speed, is there? Because only with that short amount of laps that you have, that's your exit lap, your out lap, essentially. Does he have? I mean, can he get up the speed? You scrub your tires. We'll see. It's so difficult, isn't it? Look at that 4th gear, gets up to 120, 33. He's in the peak of his actual fastest speed that he's done here this weekend for qualifying. Hunks up into the apron, lets the rear slip out there, gets on the gas pedal. Does he have enough to get at least 1 lap in, you'd say, after that mistake?
He should be able to. It just may not be his best lap. If he can get this first lap around and then maybe try to bank on the second lap. Typically, that second lap is really what drivers try to hold on to, but that first lap, you still need a good one through. And hey, 22.385, that gets him up in the midfield P6. That's a good run, and it looks like that is going to be a one and done for him. So it's just Cameron Kane left to put in a lap.
No,
But
yeah, you're right. Cameron's still on the pit road. I don't think he's going to do it in time. Joshua is on a flyer left for the number 4 machine. So he crosses the line soon and should get the timer there. The battle of the Canadians, well, Dustin, the co-founder, then the number 13 machine, sneaks ahead of Matt. So there it is. So, hey, Canada, well, he gets just the edge. We'll have to start right next to him on the grid. But we all know really, qualifying isn't that... I mean, unless you're up the front, qualifying is important. But into your midfield, it doesn't really matter too much. There's a lot of racing to go, and that's it. So the grid will come up in a minute, sir.
yeah, that's a fairly good qualifying. Everybody's nice and steady through. And here in the sexy Waltrip, 127 miles, 170 laps coming at you. It is going to be Justin Bentley who takes the top spot with that 22.114. Ben Harcum will round out our front row with just over a tenth off. Ryan Hyatt, Mark Herzog will take the second low. Kyle Grzech, current points leader, and of course, Sexy Waltrip, our sponsor for this race, with Dustin Barton taking on in the third row. Matt Parasini and Kashinian will be in the fourth row. Al Corey, Marty Rogers, fifth row. Jason Benson, Oliver Turan will take in our sixth row here for this race today. And then looking back, it is Joshua Corner, Matt Harmon, John Crutchley Benage, and Cameron Kane rounding out our 16-car grid here for what should be a good little race. It looks like the weather has changed a little bit too, and it looks like it's gone from a nighttime qualifying to an evening race.
And rain. Unfortunately, there is rain, so we may have to red flag this one out there and see how they're going to sort it out. But no, of course, it's not going to happen, is it? As Derek out there, Derek, I did see your message before. We're just waiting to get to you, my friend. Patience, and thank you very much for tuning in there. Let's go. Nice job, Justin. So, Derek, your predictions out there, please, in the chat, as well as Mr. Derek. Do you agree with World about the old 7 safety cars, give or change? Please lock in your bets right now, my friend, as to that one. Maybe after a few laps, we'll still allow people to put their predictions in, but as we get close to 170 miles, not laps, then, unfortunately, we'll not be able to change your bets. And we don't, obviously, encourage or endure gambling, unless, of course, it's free. Which then you have nothing to lose or nothing to gain as well. Pride to gain, but no monetary value to lose.
Listen, sometimes it's all about the pride. Just getting the pride of knowing you got that right can be real important. And, you know, who am I to knock your pride down? It's not me. I'm not knocking anyone's pride down, but I am saying I'm sticking to my number of 4. I like that round number.
All right, you got on 4, I'm going 6. We got the 7 out there, so yeah, it's up to you, Derek. Actually, what did Kyle say, sorry. I couldn't remember what he actually had predicted there. You can see him up at the right hand. It's actually not him, you said. Remember, he was using that picture there. But we shall find out. We have a nice stack of 16 drivers all eager to go there on a Sunday night. Pace car looks pretty damn quick as well, too. I don't even know what sure that model that pace car is. It looks like Justin's like, hurry up, pace car, whatever you are. You're not quick enough. Tell you what, we need basically a Formula 1 car out there as a pace car. We're going to be like, catch up, guys. Come on, I dare you.
I would not complain about that. That would be that'd be an event.
A Formula 1 car would not be able to handle this banking elevation changes like that without major changes to it. It would just totally just slip out to the side there. So the tire wear to the rear right would just be murderous.
Nah, it'd be okay. I think you could get a Formula 1 car around an oval.
For a couple of laps. No, that's about it.
Hey, that's all it
you
needs.
don't recall the Indianapolis GP where that basically destroyed the race? But anyway, think about racing. Let's go real racing and let's go. Round, what are we? Raceway. Richmond. Go.
Richmond Raceway party with the green flag down, and that number 16 of Justin Bentley is going to just take off on him. And you should see the drivers try to slot in single file. Nobody's going to want to get caught up on the high line here. Short track racing, you want to try to slot in and you want to send it down the inside. That's the nature of the short track racing. And yes, this Richmond Raceway is considered a short track, even though it is 0.75 miles. It's just 3 corners or 2 corners. Really depends on how you want to look at it. But as we see here, our race sponsor, that sexy Waltrip there in the 27, holding on nice and tidy in P5 as we come through. You see on the high side there, that is going to be the number 32, running high there. That is Rogers, running a bit high from where he wanted to be, but Marty Rogers trying to slot in and stay comfortable. But meanwhile, we've already done 2 laps. We're starting in lap 3 here, Biggles, and Justin Bentley and Ben Harcum and Mark Herzog running our top 3 through and holding on as best they can.
They're getting close to that wall, especially Ryan himself. Look at that, 27. Sorry, that's Ryan High, the 40 machine, going out right high into the fence. Actually, no, it was Kyle, actually. My apologies, it was Kyle. Kyle was in the fence there for a second there, and look at this. Up at the inside, Ryan's going to stick his nose in at the moment. He's going to force Mark to the outside. Mark can't come down in front of him because look at that. There is Kyle sneaking in between them. We could have 3 wide. Not just yet, but there it is. Gambling on 4 of 170, 167 to go. Now, well, you think about Kyle thinking about this up on the inside because Mark's just lost a place. And now Kyle's going to repeat that same process because once you've left the door open, my friend, then you get burgled. Well, there it is, but no, not necessarily burgled, of course, because it's also about protecting tires and everything else. There it is. Today's race sponsor. There he is. The sexy man himself.
Sexy man doing a sexy pass down the inside here. Number 27, Grzech gets up the inside of Hyatt. And you see what I was talking about. I said it's not a short track, but it is a short track there. And you want to stay on that inside line. Who is that coming steaming around in the background?
Yeah,
is that Barton?
That's Barton, yeah. Barton came out absolutely nowhere. It's got straight past Mark. Mark's dropping a place right now because it looks like Matt's around the outside. Or Dustin. Yeah, there's Dustin coming in the background. That's Bolden. No, but he's dropped it back, isn't he? Because he's stuck up the inside there and then bang, he had to back off. So a lot of actions happening here at the moment. Still no changes at the front. Justin leading this one from Ben. And as you can see, there's a gap back to Kyle that got that maneuver done. So early days, of course. Remember, the driver's got to be thinking a little bit more about fuel strategies, tire strategies and so forth. When the caution's going to come out, where are you, what are you doing, taking it easy. It's a Sunday drive, gentlemen. A triple bypass.
And keep in mind, they only get 3 sets of tires for 170 laps. So on them, it really is, don't run these tires out too fast and don't damage your car because you get 3 sets of tires and just 1 fast repair to use. So you burn that out, here on lap 8, and you've got to make it another 161 laps and survive. And that can be a challenge if you aren't up to it. Here goes Harcum catching up on Bentley just little by little here. And just staying nice.
Oh, he's close to the
no!
wall. I was going to say, you're close to the wall, my friend. If we're riding shotgun at the moment, he's in the very left-hand side cockpit. We're riding shotgun. I was sitting there about to go, Ben, that wall's getting close, And he did. He definitely tapped it there for a little bit, compromised a bit of speed, because just catching Justin at a rapid rate. Look at that, rear end sliding. Beautiful sunset here in this evening, or the sun is rotating away from the planet, whatever you want to put it. We won't call Neil deGrasse Tyson right now, he's sleeping. However, this is the situation further back in the field. There are some other battles brewing. The battles of the Canadians at the moment, Dustin and Matt. And it looks like Matt's just squeezed in ahead there of Dustin. Sid's lurking in the background there in the number 19 machine under massive pressure there from Al. It's always in your rear mirrors, isn't it? Al is like that driver on the freeway that, you kind of like, is always lurking in the background going, is this guy following me? No, it's Al. He's okay. He's a co-founder here. 45 machine.
If Al Corey had headlights, he'd probably flash them. If he was in a GT car and had that push-to-pass button with the flashing headlights, he'd be using it a lot because he's just saying, hey, let me through, let me around. And you see Al Corey try to make a move here on Kishiden and trying to go through, not able to make the stick at the moment, but doing real well and real comfortable here in the Triple Bypass League and pushing through and getting close. And you see how close the drivers are to the wall. And Biggles, you've mentioned it a couple of times, but they have to get close to the wall like that because they have to find that speed.
Going for it now.
But man, it can be dangerous. Dive up the inside here from Al Corey. And Al Corey holding on to it. Come on, hold it in. Keep that inner line and keep it pinned to the floor. Coming around the tri-oval here, if you want to call it a tri-oval. And now coming down into turn 1, still on the inside, and should be getting the spotter call
job
clear.
done, exactly. He can go up to the high line if he wants because he's covered the 19 machine. There he goes. He goes, here you go, Mr. Dustin. This is how we get it done in Dallas, Texas. As the Texan driver gets himself up there. Sid, actually. No, apologies. Not Dustin. Oh, they're going to murder me later on. Anyway. Lucky I'm not in the United States of America or North America. I'm practically in the middle of America. I'm in Central America. So, I could say I'm in the south or in the north. Doesn't matter. I'm the little canal that separates both of them, even though I'm Australian. Anyway, Justin leading from Ben. And Ben's still keeping him in bay, but just quietly. And then that big gap there, isn't it? Back to Kyle, of course. Our sponsor of the day. Sexy man himself. And Orion a little bit further back, keeping him at bay. And there's Mark. They dropped a couple places. Interesting, once again, strategy, because you don't know if the drivers are just pacing themselves. Remember, they're happy sometimes to be. It's not like a road course. You don't want to. Sometimes these drivers are much more okay with giving up a position because they're like, guys, we have 154 laps to go. All right, you're not going to win it on lap 17. You're going to win it on a lap 170.
Yeah, you'll find oval drivers tend to be a lot more calm than road course drivers, and it's one of the things I really like about oval is because these drivers understand just how long this race is, and they know it's a matter of survival. It's not all about getting it done here on the first lap, but they also know they can't dilly-dally through, as we see Mark Herzog trying to get a look here on the number 57 machine. Actually, sorry, this is Matthew Persini trying to get a look here on the 57 machine of Mark Herzog. You can see he's getting pretty close. He's trying to just slot in, but he's not doing any sort of brave dive up the inside, Daniel Ricciardo-esque looks here. He's just trying to hold his line. He's trying to stay comfortable, and he's trying to just keep that consistent pressure that you like to see in oval racing from these drivers. They'll put a little bit of pressure, run a little bit different of a line to the car ahead, and they'll slide a little bit on the inside line, get a little too low on the curb, and then lose all their momentum. And for Matthew Persini here, that was a good try, and hey, here's the cool thing about it. It's a long race. He's going to slot it up. He's going to try to do it again.
And you got to remember, every time you're doing that, you're scrubbing a lot of speed off your tires. That is, not necessarily kind to your tires. And we've seen at the end of races before, look at the exit speed that Matt's going to have here. But he'd be glad to tuck in at the moment. You have to see Mark at the road there. He's not allowing. He's basically saying, okay, here's a little gap. Here's a little gap for you, my friend. Go for it. But there's also a strategy at play. This is what I'm learning at the moment. I'm fantastic, but I'm now able to broadcast a lot more oval racing in this neck of the woods. Is that every single time I do study this, I realize there's so much more strategy behind the scenes, which I'd like to explain to the viewers out there in the audience that, he says, like, why don't you just go for it? Why don't you just go for it? Well, what's happening as well, too, is that Mark may be actually just throwing a little bit of a dummy here. It's going, come on, bring it in here, because he knows that every single time that Matt is pushing like this, Matt is also probably scrubbing the exit of his speed of his tires there and burning them more. So there is a lot at play, and it's up to us, obviously, as our entertainers here and our casters and commentators to kind of elaborate what's going on inside those machines.
Yeah, Biggles, one of my favorite things is Formula One used to be my bread and butter, and that used to be all I know. But before that, I grew up on oval racing. I grew up every Sunday. It was tradition, sit around, watch NASCAR. My whole weekend was consumed with NASCAR. That was the family event was NASCAR Sundays. Whole family would get together, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandma, everyone, and we would watch NASCAR. But here's the thing, there's a lot more strategy in an oval race than just turning left and pinning the throttle, as you've elaborated on, and it's really fun to see. And if you don't break down those minute details, or you're newer to oval racing and you don't know it, you may really think these drivers are just going flat out and just turning left and going for it. Like, you may think this number 24 Persini is just pinning it to the ground and going left. And that is anything but the case. And even though Persini is trying to get this pass done, Mark Herzog definitely has something in the tank. And he's definitely just trying to hold it. You can see he's positioning his car just right, trying to hold things through. Look at this pass here. That's the number 32 of Rogers and the number 28 of Harmon. Harmon going around the inside there of Rogers, getting a good pass done and good catch on that Biggles there with the broadcasting as well for catching that pass and seeing that move get done, because that was a good move through. And now that 24, again, a little bit closer Persini is. He's still trying to set up that move on Herzog as he can, but we're lap 26 of 170, and I have to wonder, how long do these cars run on these tires before they decide to pit stop? Or are they going to wait for our first caution to come out?
You called it perfectly, because, and I'm not trying to insult anybody out there from, the UK, whatever like that, but, a lot of them look at oval racing up before they just turn left, There's a lot more, once again, you mentioned to it. I'm finding it's the same thing when, a lot of people from Europe look at US football and stuff like that and go, it's, what is it? It's just stoppage all the time. It's strategy. There's strategy to this as well. As you'd mentioned, it's strategy And these are mind games they're playing on. The engineers, if they have engineers and spotters and stuff like that, they're going to be sitting there nursing these tires. Their engineer, like, all right, you're doing okay. Remember, it's a long race, so how are we going to pace this? Strategy pays off big time because of the fact that it's not like a road race where Max Verstappen's up the road by 20 seconds and there's no hope that you're ever going to get him unless there's a big crash or something. In this, I mean, even the likes of Marty, Matt down there in 11th, 12th, and 13th, Jensen, Carmen, they can all win this race. They can all win it on strategy, being at the right place at the right time, timing whatever happens, and then getting it done, and of course, pacing the right fuel, the right tires, everything. So this is what the great thing is about the strategy of oval racing for the next gens. But it's still good to feel at front like Justin is. Kyle's starting to slowly creep him in here. Slowly, you could just see him up the road. And Ryan lurking in the background there, keeping him for company. Now, as a short track, not a super speedway, as they are bouncing around the fence, the tow, right, which is another whole thing that a lot of people don't understand about oval racing, but there's not much tow, is there, on a short track like this?
There's not. It's not like Talladega where you've got to get the pack and you've got to get things going. This track, where it's such a short acceleration range and then you're immediately into that left turn, the tow's not as important. It's really all about that entry and exit speed and consistently being able to enter the corner faster than the car in front and exit the corner faster than the car behind. You see the number 40 there? That's Hyatt getting a little bit loose. Ryan Hyatt trying to hold on to it, taking a different line. You're going to start seeing the cars work lines as they go, and we talk about this a lot in oval racing as well. What line is in? Is it the low line? Is it the mid line? Is it the high line? Where can these drivers find the most pace? Again, it's not like Talladega that we saw last week where it's flat out, everybody get in a line and go through and see what happens. These drivers, again, it's a lot more strategy. You might start seeing drivers start to creep up the track as the race goes, like we're seeing the 78 here kind of creeping up, and you see Ben Harkham isn't really losing pace. He's holding on to it because that lower line is going to rubber in and actually lose speed because the drivers aren't going to be able to stick to it, and it's going to get a little more slippery. They're going to start seeing different lines of the track come in as we go, and you can see there Ben Harkham is just holding on to it, and Ben Harkham is just slowly trying to chase down Justin Bentley as we go, and is doing a pretty good job of it there as he is reeling him in slowly but surely as we go around. That low line might not be working like it was at the start of the race as the sun goes down.
And you're absolutely correct on that one because Mark, remember earlier in the race, he started dropping a couple of places. People were like slicing through Mark like his tires have been around for 136 laps. No, he played a different game. He played a different strategy. Mark's coming back into play now because he's on the back of Ryan, who's on the back there of Kyle, and all of a sudden he's come to life for the 57 machine that we saw before. And this is a situation with Ben Harkham here. He looks to me to be much more comfortable with this vehicle at the moment, the 78 machine. Because look at that tangle on the fence there. And that shows you how comfortable he is. And that might be a little mistake there from Justin. 78, there it is. So Ben's patient may have paid off. He's on the inside line at the moment there. Justin's not want to give it up. He's not going to want to give it up, but has that mistake cost him potentially the lead of this race? They still have to kind of work together a little bit. We have 37 of 170, 134 to go, but I don't know. Ben's happy to settle back there just behind him there and say, all right, I've noticed you make a mistake, but do you think that little pressure on Ben is creeping in on Justin, or Justin's pushed his tires, or his luck a little bit too much?
And then Ben taps the wall a little bit too on the backstretch. So Ben Harkham, that should have been a moment. He should have capitalized on that there, Biggles. And he didn't. And that was, man, I wasn't expecting that. And really, as soon as I saw Justin go up in the fence there, I was expecting Ben Harkham to just send it up the inside and clear that race out. And he didn't. And that's, I don't know if that's just pure not luck or what came out of that, because that was not the run I was expecting here. And now he's got to set it back up. That's a good view there. That bottom corner, you can see there how hard Ben Harkham is starting to push again to try to get back forward here, and you can see that Justin Bentley is just trying to hold things as best as he can and just try to keep things consistent and smooth. And man, he was lucky. He was lucky coming on lap 40 of 170 to not lose out there when he tapped the wall, and he can't do that too many more times, I'll tell you.
Yeah, once again, I'm just wondering at the moment, the pressure of being in P1, this is the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're on oval races, you're on road races, or anywhere. It is, you're the predator or the prey at the moment. It seems that Ben is the predator, Justin is the prey, And is Justin going to mirror drive, or is he going to focus on that one? He's going to open the door a little bit there. Is Ben going to stick his nose up in there? No. That's also maybe strategy at play. Justin's like, all right, I want you to go on the inside lane there. I want you to gamble. I want you to turn your steering wheel a little bit more. I want you to scrub some speed. And I want you to make mistakes. Look at that in the background. Kyle could slowly be looking at him at 1.7 and change, just under shy of 2 seconds. I don't know if Ben really wants to seize this opportunity or if he's playing with his food, and that's no offense there to Justin, but who knows? We'll find out right now, live.
And Ben Harkham around the inside here. Justin Bentley starting to work that middle line, and he's getting better corner exits, I will say, on that middle line coming out of 2. So he's trying to work that and hold on to it. And Justin just not as good of a run out of 3 and 4 onto the oval section, onto the tri-oval there. Ben Harkham seems to get a little bit better of a run. But remember, too, here's another thing. The more they battle, the more Bentley and Harkham battle up there. Grzech, Hyatt, and Herzog getting the mix.
3 wide almost here at the moment here. I didn't think it's even possible. Then again, we've seen 4 wide. We saw the 4 wide in Talladega, didn't we? Can you get 3 wide here? I would have to say yes. After triple bypasses, anything is possible.
You can. It's not pretty. You can. It's not pretty. Typically, if you see 3 wide, something's went real wrong for somebody on the high line. But you can see here the number 40 doing real well there. Hyatt getting around the number 57 of Herzog. But again, the more they squabble, the more it opens up the door for Bentley and Harkham. But look at that. Grzech is catching up, and then these 3 are going to be catching up as well. And Bentley and Harkham need to either figure it out or they need to just get gone, because they are opening up the door for a world of problems behind them as we see the 57 and the 40 yet again. Hyatt, Herzog battling, and the more they do that, the more that Pericini is going to get in the mix, and this could get ugly real fast depending on how things go.
Oh, well, he's getting close to a caution period if we're going to predict that one at all, because we have 25 laps to go. And we don't want a caution. I mean, we've had actually just mentioned Talladega, isn't it? Only a couple of cautions. Goes to show you the level of respect that these drivers have. And believe it or not, if you join this league, they are in the Discord themselves, which is very surprising. There is all. Wow. Great save there from Ryan. That is amazing. I would have been in that fence immediately, but it's burrowing up at the top of the timesheets again. Once again, 78 versus the 16. And once again, they are messing around in the playgrounds here of Virginia. Richmond, sorry. Yes, I'll get it right. I don't know these neck of the woods. Anyway, same thing.
It's Richmond, Virginia. You're right. You're right.
Oh, fun. I got something right. Here we go.
Come on. Ben Harkham, new leader on lap 48. Getting around Justin Bentley. Finally, he worked that high line, which, hey, if you're going to do the same thing for 30 laps and it doesn't work, switch it up and catch the leader off guard. Good move there, and you can see he switched it up on the high line. And again, that good exit he was getting out of 2. Keep the throttle into it there, and that Holly Rollers Hot Sauce number 78, sponsored by Triple Bypass, is able to get it around. Ben Harkham is your new leader, going in just over a third of race distance.
Yeah, so a lot of speed up there on the outside next to the fence, isn't there? What about those marbles that start kicking up there a little later on? How does that affect the drivers?
Well, on a short track like this, it won't affect them as bad. You'll start...
Oh! Ryan, I think there's contact. That's got to be a caution. Yes, it is. And that is, well, my typical Dean Biggles. I click on a driver and bang, there's an accident. I'm sorry. It's just my commentator's curse. It's really my fingers on my mouse at the moment. They go bang, bingo, accident. Unfortunately, that's happened, and that's Mark is doing such a great job there. Well, it will switch things around. What do you reckon? They'll go box, 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 and I'll give you a second there to jump down into the garage there and yank one of those fantastic gladiators by the neck. And, well, we'll wait for pit stops first, and we'll go over the replay.
I say we'll try to get in touch there with Ben Harkham and see how he feels about that pass he got done. And yeah, looking at that, just kind of looking through at what happened there. Here's your replay. 24-57 came together, and it looks like the 24 just got a lot of speed on the 57 going through. Matthew Pericini and the 57 of Mark Herzog. They've been battling for several laps, and yeah, it was just the 24 got a run. 57 came down to defend it, couldn't hold on to it, and was able to get the pass done. So that is going to be, it's unfortunate to see, but, you know, sometimes short track race, you get that. He tried to get a little too slow in the corner and had the run, but
they're all in pit road. Everybody's in pit road right now taking an opportunity because it's been a long time, remember? we had 50 laps of green flag racing. So a lot of drivers are sitting there at the moment going, when's the caution, when's the caution, when's the caution? Otherwise, we have the green flag pit stop, and there it is. So see if you could find who it was. Maybe anybody that was involved in that incident, because that was just a little tap. Maybe Matt, I don't know, because once again, it's very interesting. It was just an overspeed as to, I don't know, whether a driver had lifted the throttle a little bit and Matt couldn't predict it properly. It's so difficult, isn't it, at this level of racing to kind of elaborate how that I don't think that's netcode. I think that at the end of the day was who was it in the back? That was
it was Matt there.
Yeah, Matt here. So we'll go back to the replay. We'll have a look from Matt's perspective. Evil Motorsports. Matty, don't be that evil. I don't think he's trying to be evil, of course. He's trying to get the job done, isn't he? He's trying to get past. Cockpit point of view. Look at this. So this is quarter speed. Easier at a quarter speed, isn't it, when you're not going 100 miles an hour? But
yeah, for
go
sure.
100 miles an hour and see how it looks from his perspective. There.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah, I don't know. It's just racing, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'd almost tell you that's just a racing incident. That's just something you're going to have. You can see the 24 there parking it on the low side. I'm not sure why he's parked low. It looks like he's shuffling back to the back of the field where he is going to be at after that caution period.
Oh,
so
I
it
think
seems
he
like
might
number
be
24.
out. He's not actually showing up on the cameras at the moment, so we'll see. It could be right, actually. No, hang on. I think he's thinking a race at the moment. Yeah, sorry.
It looks like 24 might have served a penalty there and actually taken a lap down for that incident.
Yeah, do you have anybody for a quick chat? Whilst we're in that one, Derek out there, of course, is his boy's Justin. I can't read what you said, but 17 cars are here to be exciting. Of course, YouTube, unfortunately, is probably throwing up a little icon that covers some of those chat. Damn you, YouTube. Darn you! But we do have green flag racing again. Kyle is in the lead of this race.
Kyle Grzech. I did not catch him going back green either. That's completely on me. I was trying to really break down that incident, figure out who to talk to. But new leader, today's race sponsor, Kyle Grzech, getting away there, getting the run on Harkham and Hyatt. And very, very good run all the way through. Justin Bentley, after those pit stops, shuffled down into P11. And here we go, Kyle Grzech, Ben Harkham. Ben Harkham's been fast. And Ben Harkham had his moment in the lead, and he wants it back. He wants to roll Sexy back into P2.
Oh, love it. Rolling Sexy back. It didn't take too long, of course. This is a triple bypass racing league presented by JPB. And you heard it. Bradley's calling Sexy back, isn't it? Is Ben going to be calling Sexy back from the Sexy man himself? Well, you got to find out, aren't you? Because Carl's up in the lead of this race. Are they going to take it easy on our race sponsor? No, you don't need to. It's racing, it's bumping and grinding, and don't rub the fence too much, my friend. Don't rub it too much. I'm going to shut myself up at the moment before I get in trouble. Let's go.
No trouble coming your way, Biggles. No trouble could ever come your way. I'll tell you who is going to be in trouble, though. It's going to be Harkham if he doesn't figure out this pass around Grzech. Look at him. He's going to start working the high side again, just like what he did there on Justin. He's going to start working the high side, and watch him here in a 1 and 2. He's been fast, and he's going to hold on to it. But look at that, Kyle Grzech with a good run out of 2. Could be able to hold on to it, and he's defending real hard. He's going to try to slot back in. He's going to try to squeeze Harkham up high, but look at that. Kyle Grzech is very beautifully going to hold down on the low side, and coming out 3 and 4, he is going to try to work it as best as he can, and there it is. He is going to keep the lead for the moment, but how long can you hold on to it? I'm not for sure, because that 78, again, that midline works so well.
I was wondering how you defend, really, at the end of the day, isn't it? Because the outside line seems to be the high speed difference that's coming in there. You'd think the inside would be the shortest path, isn't it, at the end of the day? But then again, it's also shorter on the way you have to approach it. You have to lift a little bit and apply the throttle a little later. So there it is, 78. This is a tiebreaker at this point. At this point, but Penn maybe, and there it is. Cole's elected to accept it and say, "Oh, Ben, you have it for now. You have it for now." So there it is. Change the lead, and that's very difficult because Ben's flashed for a second. His mum's probably gone out, and there's a tap in the wall there from Kyle. His mum's gone in there and turned the microwave on for a second, and they've shut it out and say, "Mum, no, we're racing." And there it is, because if you're all not aware, the microwave operates on the same frequency as 2.4 kilohertz as Wi-Fi, but I guarantee none of these drivers, thankfully, are on Wi-Fi.
I hope not.
Yeah, well,
Man.
Yeah, give it a little bit more than 1 second on the microwave anyway. Well,
Yeah,
Oliver up 8 at the moment, and Al, trust me, Al's always this one that I never really put the camera to very often, but Al always gets the job done slowly. At the end of the day, Al might start at the back of the field. He's always managing to find his way up in crucial points positions. Another battle brewing back here as well, too, remember. There are other drivers in this race, and Gladiators, Sid, Matt, Carmen, all getting a few positions after that pit stop. The only pit stop all the drivers have taken here this evening on 63 of 170.
Yeah, coming 63 to 170. Look at that, number 28, Matthew Harmon looking up the inside of Missick and doing a good run here. Again, inside line, hold on to it. Some of these drivers like the high line, like we've seen Harcum up front run that mid-high line. Some of them don't. Look at that. It's the 28 around, and then the 037 of Cameron Kane takes advantage as well. And is Cameron Kane going to be able to get past? And a bit of cheeky defense, but he's going to snap loose there. Is Matthew Harmon snaps loose, trying to do just a defense that wasn't there and takes him 3 wide for a moment. You can see that just did not work. And now the number 28 under some pressure from the number 24. And that number 24 car is going to be pushing it around as well, doing a good run around. And man, I don't know how to feel about that little slide there out of 2. I don't know if that was on accident or what that was.
I got my little blessing broadcaster finger on the mouse here at the moment there. I can click a button right now. There'll be an accident. So just calm down, boys. I can cause a caution if I need to up here in the casting booth. You can see it brewing, couldn't you? But this is the very reason why I'm looking at Jason Benson's view for the 42 machine. Because he can see this gaggle of cars up there and he can see what's brewing. I might switch it up just a bit there in the 28 machine so we get closer to Sid and Dustin that are battling it out there at the moment, 8th and 9th on the field. So there it is. I got a sneaking suspicion that tonight's going to be a good night for some drivers and tonight's not going to be a good night for others. As we are here. We're getting down to 104 to go. So lots of racing. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Well, and let me complicate things a little bit for you, Biggles. That 24 there, Matthew Parasini, is down a lap. He's fighting through the field, and he's a lap down. He's just fighting to get his lap back at this point. He's not fighting for position. This is just him trying to get around the field to try to get up onto the lead lap. Of course, Lucky Dog is on, so he kind of has 2 options. He could sit back, or he can get in the mix here and cause a little bit of chaos, but what he doesn't want to do is wreck another car. But he is opening up opportunities as he fights through. That number 19 gets a little bit of a snap. I thought the 19 of Kishian was past Barton, but it doesn't look like he's got it around at the moment. Running that Dodge, yellow and black, but is trying to push down the 13 and the 28, getting involved as well. This is the battle for P9 and P10, and they're fighting like it's for the lead, and I'm loving this fight all the way through here in Triple Bypass.
Well, it could be for the lead later on in the race, depending on what's happening. That's the great thing about overall racing, isn't it? This is potentially a lead for anybody of these drivers, because they're not that far up, you're not that far down the road, essentially, from our leaders, and something's happened to Ben. Something big time's happened to Ben. He's just dropped a couple of places. I saw the timing tower just drop there, and you can see there he's scrubbing a lot of speed. I think Ben and the fence have had an argument there, and perhaps that is not going to pan out in Ben's favor. But further back, as I switched it, they're still battling the brewing. I'm going to try to see if I can get a little bit of replay of what happened there. But yeah, I'm expecting a 3 wide coming at this one. Because you said, you got a driver trying to unlap themselves, and he seems clearly quicker. But this battle that's brewing here is denying them that, and how difficult it is if you're a driver lap down and you're trying to get back in your position and you go, hey, I'm quicker, but these drivers go, hey, you're a lap down, you shouldn't be trying to blue flag overtake us kind of thing. I don't know, it's a little difficult ovals.
Yeah, oval, you're going to get that conversation. It comes one of 2 ways. There's a mutual respect that's usually given between the cars a lap down and the cars on the lead lap, but there is also, there's not a blue flag rule in this like there is in road courses. IMSA, F1 kind of come to mind, where you get blue flagged if you're slower and you're supposed to let the leader through and kind of compromise your own race. Oval, it's more of just don't wreck the cars on the lead lap, but if you get your pass done cleanly, you get your pass done. It kind of falls into that. It's up to the car behind to do clean passing, and it's up to the car ahead to not get themselves wrecked in the mix. So you kind of see it go back and forth, and I do like seeing those cars that are a lap down try to fight their way through the field, even though they're a lap down, try to earn their positions back.
I don't know what road courses I mean, I know you about road course. That is the rule book of how it should work, but realistically, my friend, no driver say, for example, in the top 5 or 6 or 7 in a race, that's getting overtaken by somebody that's running P20 or whatever, that's quicker, clearly, when we go, I'm leading the race by probably a minute and change up the road from you, and you're overtaking me, they never want to allow that car to re-overtake them, even if the car's clearly quicker, just out of I don't know what it is. It's like, you're here and I'm here. But that's the rule of thumb. Then that's what I think drivers are going to have mentally in their head, aren't they? They're going to be like, well, surely this guy's like so far down. But I guess the difference, of course, in overall racing is that person could have wrecked. And that person could have been the person that was on pole and was quicker than anybody else in this whole track during qualifying. Therefore, there you'll have a little bit more respect, wouldn't you, for a driver that is clearly quick. But every driver here is quick anyway, so I could babble on all day. I'm not starting to make sense anymore on this situation. However, Kyle is still making sense of the situation because our driver sponsor of the day, the sexy Waltrip himself, is leading and still leading. I'm just wondering really what happened to Ben, because Ben, I don't see anything in race control, but Ben had a little moment. And we'll see if we can get a replay of why he got past.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
Let's see.
I'm wondering what happened there. There's your replay coming up, and is this just a moment of weakness? No, the 57 comes around and takes them with him. Oh, Mark Herzog. I saw him go 4 laps down, and I was wondering what happened. Yeah, Mark Herzog came around and took Ben with him. Man, I hate to see that.
That even caused caution. Thankfully, so at the moment they're out there, world, we're at 1 caution, 79 into this race, 91 to go. So we're getting close to the halfway point. Carl leading this one. Further back, of course, there's Dustin and there's Jensen Benson and Dustin Barton. They're still going for it. I love this action zone here, basically inside the top 10-ish. And then speaking of which, of course, you have just looking background there, of course, Ben Harcum. They dropped all those places. There's Ben. There's Joshua. And there's our previous race sponsor in the past as well, too, and Jensen. And here we go. Here we go. This is brewing into something, my friend. This is brewing. Get your popcorn.
That's Mark Herzog. He's 4 laps down at the moment, going on the inside of the number 13 that I can see, and that is Dustin Barton. And yeah, Mark Herzog 4 laps down after that contact he had there with Ben Harcum and trying to go through. And now he's got, it looks like that is going to be, I'm not sure who that was he got around, but he is back around him there. That is interesting to see Mark Herzog trying to work his way around. And then the number 28 getting in the mix as well. So drivers continuing to just push through. Ooh, 32 and 28, making things very, very close there. Marty Rogers also a lap down. And that number 28, Dustin Barton and Matthew Harmon are on the lead lap in this mix of cars that are laps down. So traffic's starting to play an issue here, Biggles. Traffic is starting to make things interesting. And that number 32 does not want to be the cause of a crash for these 3 lead lap cars that you've got in the mix with him in the middle.
Yeah, it's Marty Rogers, of course, there on the outside. Jensen is on the inside. So Jensen's in number 10th and Marty's in number 15, but they're lapped down, as you mentioned. I love the traffic because it comes into play, especially in previous league races, and you're going to watch it here at the JP Broadcast Network if you choose to like different racing, because we have GT3s, GT4s, LMP2s, LMP3s, but the different class racing adds excitement to it because, you know, you might see drivers in the other road courses where they're, 2-3 seconds apart of each other, and it gets into a like, okay, there's no excitement here anymore, and then all of a sudden they approach lap traffic of a slower class, like say for example LMP3s approaching GT4s or whatever, and they have to navigate their way through the field. The GT4s are racing their own battle tight seconds apart, and then of course the other category of cars are passing through. They're clearly quicker, and then it becomes this big who navigates through traffic better, and it becomes a whole different entertainment adventure. So let's look out for that one as Al takes it on the inside there of Oliver. I'm telling you, Al is like this little he's like an owl, really, isn't it? He's hooing. He's smart and wise, and he chooses his overtakes and his maneuvers and his performance late into the race. He's like, okay, it's nighttime, time for Al to shine.
Al awakens in the night and says, I'm the who's who, the co-founder of the Triple Bypass Racing League, hometown of Dallas, Texas. So very far away from Richmond, Virginia, but treating this like it's home. It's a bread and butter race for good old Al, getting around Oliver Turan there and continuing to move forward up into the P4, if I can read numbers, and I surely can here as we read in the oval. We're on board with Sid now. Sid going around and chasing down Kane and trying to do a very, very good run here on Cameron Kane. You can see getting very close, very consistent, but just doesn't have to run out of turn 4. And this is where we're starting to see this longer run start to wear these drivers out on their tires. We're lap 90. Remember, it was a caution on lap 50. Ooh, watch the wall there.
Yeah, you saw that as we were on board the 9x19 machine. In fact, if anything, it's going to bring Dustin into the battle there. And Dustin has Jensen, and you can see Jensen and Matt going for it tooth and nail in the background. So giddy up, gentlemen, because there is a storm brewing here, and it's all a matter of getting it done. This is when tires start creeping for surely. I mean, there are fresh boots, but look at that, they're tagging the wall there.
Ooh.
It's Jensen. It does not like the fence. In fact, he's gone back into the fence there for a double date against that fence. Geico, my friend, you might need to save more than 10% off your car insurance if you keep going that far out.
Oh, I mean, you're starting to see that tire life become a question. So, and remember, the drivers, they got to make it to lap 170. It's not one on lap 92. It's one on lap 170 here in the Sexy Waltrip 127 here in the Triple Bypass Racing League on JP Broadcasting. It is a longer game here, and these drivers might need to just chill it out a little bit. I could bring some people some ice packs if they need it, because they need to cool it down. Kyle Grzech does not need to cool down, though. He's got a 2.5 second lead there on Ryan Hyatt, and just running away with it and being very comfortable there in that race lead. And you can see just getting right up against the edge of the wall, not pushing it though, not risking it. And that's the big thing, is he's not risking it on these long runs. And I gotta wonder, were the drivers expecting maybe a couple more cautions, being able to get a little bit more of a break in between these longer runs, because the drivers are just running it through, and some people are starting to just have those little mistakes creep in. Those little handling errors are hitting. They're going up into the wall a little bit and scraping, like we saw the number 42 Jason Benson do. And it's really just a matter, everybody breathe, everybody hold on. You've still got 76 laps to go here.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along, of course, to the Gen 4 Richmond Raceway, sponsored by this very man that we're riding on board with. So sit your seat tables strapped upright, put your seats upright, of course. We're about to depart. No, we've already departed, and we're about to land very soon. We're going to be landing about 76 laps. Kyle on board right now, and your fantastic broadcaster of Bradley on board right now. How is Kyle feeling this machine? Riding on board through his hump cam. How comfortable is he feeling?
We'll tell you that Kyle is not a care in the world, just cruising right now as we watch on board here with Kyle Grzech, the Sexy Waltrip. Find him on YouTube, youtube.com/sexywaltrip, the sponsor of today's race. But look at this. I mean, he hasn't had to crank the wheel right once. He hasn't had to do anything crazy. He's just smooth, cool, calm, collected, and I mean, he's not having to overcorrect the car. He's not fighting it. He's not sliding any certain way. He's just consistent lap times. I'm seeing it on the timing tables, just consistent lap after lap there. It's
Kyle getting it done. And look at the track map as well that I put up there, because they're so spread out at the moment. We need to kind of get a little indication of where everybody is on the track, because they will have traffic, no doubt, approaching them at a certain level of speed, and of course speed is the key when you're in a motor race, and the key of course is this motor race up the road there. We're going to have a ride on board with Sid, because these two cars up the road are battling Cameron and Dustin. Cameron up 10 positions, and the Canadian driver of Dustin, unlucky for him unfortunately by dropping 1 position, but still he has 73 in his back pocket to keep going. And I don't know, you'd be bold and brave if you're Sid right there to sneak it in between them. Even if they were going to leave the door open anyway, you would not want to be going. It's like riding in an airplane, isn't it? It's like, do you want to be in the center seat? Not really. It's an aisle or a window. Which window or the aisle do you want?
Yeah, it's a good view to watch the drivers battle, but you got to remember, where can you get yourself in the mix here as we watch Sid go through, and you can see, just again, staying relaxed. Dustin Barton there, a co-founder of Triple Bypass Racing, so you know that Dustin knows how to drive these cars and stay relaxed and just slowly trying to reel in Cameron Kane. Cameron Kane up 10 places, though. You cannot discount. Started last place running P6, and hey, that's the beauty of oval racing. You can start back in the back and find yourself all the way in the front from a couple of incidents, and I believe Cameron earned most of his positions from a couple of unlucky people down at the bottom of the timing tower there. As you can see, Harcum, Rogers, Herzog, and Persini, who are laps down, but hey, that gives up positions and that opens doors for plenty of opportunity that Cameron Kane has taken advantage of. You see Cameron Kane just trying to hold on and stay nice and comfortable and consistent against the cars ahead. And the field settled down a little bit. I say that, and of course, Barton and Sid are going to be battling here soon and continuing the battle. But, you know, for the most part, other than that battle there for P6 that's been brewing for a bit, everybody is spread out and relaxed. And if you're wondering if I'm trying to commentator curse it, the answer is no. I am just making an astute observation.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's many people on this channel at the moment that will say it's not a coincidence, or it's not a commentator's curse, it's a coincidence. But, however, you said that, and you got to be able to win it. Drivers are now boxing. Some of the drivers are boxing, so because there's no second caution, sorry, at the moment there, you're predicting 7, you predicted 4, I predicted 6, we were predicting not even more than 1. We'll see at the moment as Ryan is applying a little bit of pressure. This is going to be interesting because now they're going to be getting some notification from the other teams, and they're actually, believe it or not, all these drivers are actually in the same chat here in the Discord. You can find all the information in the description if you want to be a part of this fantastic league. They go to pit road as I get the right cameraman on that. So Dustin and Sid have elected to go in right now. Are they early predicting a potential safety car brewing soon? They're going to basically race each other out of pit road. And of course, they'll drop some time. However, they're thinking about another strategy. They're thinking, all right, well, we're a little bit far back there. We're not getting too much. Kyle's up the road there. Ryan's up the road. Justin's up the road. And what can we do about it? Well, we don't know. But what's happened? Ryan's made a mistake or something because Justin's on the inside of him big time now. There's a 4-second gap between them. Well, you can try to find out some information about that, but the 16 machine now of Justin is setting up the inside of Ryan, who's struggling somehow up against the fence.
As I said, it's not a commentator's curse. However, I wholeheartedly believe in a commentator's curse. But the number 16 there of Justin Bentley up the inside of Ryan Hyatt. Justin Bentley, a fast car, but 4.65 seconds the gap, 4.75 seconds the gap that he's going to have to make up to Kyle Grzech moving forward. And we've started seeing these green flag pit stops cycle through, which is
24
interesting
machine,
to me.
yeah.
Ooh, Persini going up the inside here. And Persini is a car that is a lap down and is trying to move his way forward to try to get in that lucky dog spot to get the wave around if there is another caution. And this makes things very, very interesting.
He's blocking the 40 machine of Ryan. Ryan must be fuming. Ryan's like, get out of but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He's clearly quicker to come out of pit road at the moment with fresh boots. If I'm not mistaken. No, he didn't actually. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'm seeing no pit stops actually from him, but whatever that power is in that machine there of Justin. Wait, are they actually? I don't even understand. Justin is in position there. Sorry, my apologies. I thought he was like coming out of pit road there, unlapping himself. But what the hell's Justin got in that tank? I have to get the somebody to inspect that fuel situation there. Where did he come from?
Yeah, it's I don't know what he's done with his setup, but it is a fixed setup race, so it's not necessarily a setup thing. It is just some dang good pace coming out of that number 16 there of Justin Bentley. I almost said 18 for some reason. And I tell you what, watching that through, I mean, it's an impressive run. It's scary. It's scary fast he's got, but he is losing time to Kyle Grzech. I mean, that's crazy to see. And look at this. Look at this run down the inside that the 16 gets on the 40. Just beautiful run down low and sticks that low line and floors it out of 2 and just settles in nice and comfortable on the backstretch. Had the move done in the middle of the corner, and now the 24 is going around the 16. Look at that. That is going to be the number 24. And again, Persini is a lap down, and he's just getting around Bentley there, just moving around Justin Bentley. And hey, now if you're Justin Bentley, you see that 24 moving so quick, settle in behind him and let him tell you those 6 seconds forward to Kyle Grzech.
I think it's the 24 I was actually referring to because I saw a car in there that wasn't in the mix. I knew a backmarker was playing some sort of... something went wrong, at least for some of the drivers, because we saw a big gap difference between there because now Kyle's got a massive lead. And why did Ryan drop so much? Was curious about that. They call it because they had a bit of a gap between them. And I think it's because of back markers has come into play. Then I can't remember specifically who it is, but we do have Oliver Turin that's gone into pit road at the moment. We have a couple of drivers now. Just to let everybody know that Dustin down here in P12 has taken 2 pit stops. All right, we know there's only 1 pit stop for every drive. They all took it immediately under the only caution we've had. Sid's gone in. Right, he's the second one. Marty's gone in. Joshua and Mark. And Mark's a lap down. But now Oliver's gone in. He may... apologies for the cameras, of course, because it does that. But... Oh, Carl, our race leader's gone in. So this is it. It's box time. Now, will Justin follow him in? Justin's caught. There's traffic here at the moment. That'll be interesting. No, stays out. Stays out. Ryan's gone in. So Al stayed out. Jason's gone in. Matt. See.
48 coming in. Crutchley's calling in.
So hard to no, they stayed out. Because the pit lane entrance is there. I do apologize because I don't know necessarily this track that well that I can guarantee you exactly where they go in. I mean, I can count how many meters there are in some Formula 1 tracks, but when it comes to these ovals, I can't tell you. I've never been there. I never walked them. But we'll see at the moment. Justin stayed out. So Al stayed out. Cameron stayed out. Matt stayed out. And the other Matt. So 2 Matts, 4th and 5th. But Kyle, our race leader, is now here. As long as you get out in front of the traffic, it'll be good. Remember, this is green, green, green. This is not a caution. Pit stop. They have no luxury of that. It's motor racing time. And it's whether or not just Kyle, of course, will continue that. Because Cameron's gone in from 3rd. He'll lose those places. He gained 13, by the way. But unfortunately, he's going to see that drop like a 1929 stock exchange. So Kyle's going to come around right now. I'm just curious about our race leader and what's going to happen with the rest of the field there. Over to you, lovely Brad.
Well, and I'll tell you where things get ugly. If there was a wreck right now and a caution flag flew, it would mess this field up. It would mess this grid up and make things absolutely ugly. But as it stands right now, with this 22-second lap roughly and with about a 30-second in and out on the pit lane, Kyle Grzech should be standing in the lead right now as we come through. Corey's into the pits there. Bentley and Harmon ahead, and there goes Parasini. There's Grzech around Corey, and you still see things shuffling, but as it stands at the moment, people coming in. I do have the driver's radios coming up. So
yeah, he's caught the traffic big time here. It's to slice through it like a butter. Remember, he's got fresh tires. He's got everything. He's got the power. He's got the speed, and he wants to get past these back markers at the moment that have either boxed or not, but he's got to remember, hey, these other drivers have to go to pit road. There it is. The 24 machine's going to let him go on the outside. This is our race leader, of course, will potentially in the net lead because he has boxed. Carl's the only one that's boxed twice, so we know that he's got the best boots in town. And, well, we'll see, because Justin is leading. Where's Justin? There's Justin.
Yeah, he unlapped himself with Justin there, because Justin is right on the back of Parasini.
That's right.
So actually, that pass from Grzech on that 24 was for position.
Yep, there he is. Look at that. So Matt's up the road. Matt's yet to box. And there's Carl. So he's got to spot them. Look at this. You'll be surprised in oval racing how this is like, you see DRS in Formula 1. Welcome to fresh boots in an oval race. Okay? In a next-gen car. Because look at this. This guy's engaged turbocharger. It's supersonic speed right now. He's going to go from Mach 1 to Mach 2. He's going to slice through this field like butter, but he has to be very cautious here because look at this. We go 3 wide, 57 machine on the outside. He's going to play it caution because Carl essentially, remember, isn't the leader of this race. He doesn't want to risk it for the biscuit too much here, but he knows my tires are definitely better here. He can trust in them. There's the 002 machine of Oliver who's running 15th. He doesn't want to gamble with Oliver making any mistakes. Oliver has been in the pit road 3 times, and look at that, Justin, right there, up the road, ready for grabs.
Oliver playing it very, very safe here, staying on the high line and just letting Kyle Grzech through. He knows better than to try to fight that through and not to cause any issues. So your race leader, Bentley, might be 17 seconds up the road, but it was at one point like 25 seconds after the pit stop. And look at this, Kyle Grzech unlapped himself and is moving forward 17 seconds up. Bentley still needs to pit. Don't forget that.
Yeah, so, remember, Carl's like, more about the time, isn't it? Look at that 16. If it goes to 15s, 14s, and 13s, in every corner almost. You know he's getting the job done. But I have to give it to Justin. Look at that. The time's not dropping that much. Look at your timing table. It's 16:15, right? There's Justin. But Justin's on the outside there. It's about the traffic too. Remember, Justin has to navigate his way through the traffic. But Justin's on all boots. So the cars around him are going to be quicker. Whereas Kyle, of course, has so much more speed advantage. Look at that. At the moment, Justin's had to let these cars through. And look at that. Car's 14 seconds. So he shaved 2 seconds off that. And remember, both these drivers have traffic to deal with. So it's working out right now for our race sponsor. One reason why this man's a sexy man. Look at that. Sexy on the car. Oh. You know, I'm trying to think of the song at the moment. My car's too sexy for me. Well, it is too sexy perhaps for this race for the triple bypassing. 44 laps to go. So this is the time to shine, Mr. Carl, and you are, my friend. Spotlight's on you.
Forget how fast new boots are on an oval track, but man, Kyle Grzech is very quickly reminding me of the pace difference that you can find there when you go through trying to chase down our current race leader, Justin Bentley. And Justin Bentley, who's been up in the lead a lot here in this race.
He's got a box. Why would Justin stay out? He's lost 8. What he's a second lap slower. He just passed the pit road. Why are you staying out?
Justin can do it. I don't think he can do it to the end of the race with his current pace and with those tires. I think he needs fuel at least. And maybe Justin Bentley is banking on somebody wrecking. I don't know, man.
Maybe. What do you think in the chat? Let us know in the chat at the moment why he would do that, because it's another second. It's going to be a second a lap easily, maybe if not 2 slice. This is not just up the road, of course. As you see on your timing table, it's 10 seconds. Ooh, Kyle! Don't go dance at the fence, my friend, unless you brought some flowers. With love. He's got a bit of pressure in the background. Actually, the pressure in the background is not from a racing driver. He's got 19 seconds to pardon. And look at that, 9 seconds. I think Kyle's got to calm down a little bit. Calm down. I mean, I'm sure his spotter is going to let him know that Justin has to box. I mean, he's got 41 laps. And if you're getting a second lap, you know, do the math on that one, you're going to easily take Justin in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's not going to take him much. He just needs to relax and just drive. I think he's getting hung up on this 42 in front of him of Benson and wanting to get around that 42 car, but 42 is not his fight. 42 is down there by a couple of laps away. He just needs to relax through. Hyatt, Keith, and Sid moving things around, and I thought I saw Kane and Harkham swap positions there too. I might be wrong on the other position swap.
This is a big thing happening here at the moment. Yeah. We're talking about lap cars and racing positions. Because Sid's going with Ryan, and this is a battle for P4 and P5, and amongst them is lap traffic.
Hey, maybe this is what Justin knows about. Maybe this is what that 16 of Justin Bentley knows about and is expecting something in this mix to cause a good little caution flag. You never know as we watch.
Stop trying to call it out there. We're going to have one caution. Come on. Don't you commentate, Kirst, you're not allowed.
Listen, I just want to see a close fight.
If I have to come back into that trailer, you're in big trouble, my friend. No, you're right. I mean, cautions are cautions. But no, I actually want to see some green flag racing, because what's happening at the moment that's even more important is that they have to navigate their way around all the lap traffic. It's very confusing, of course, out there if you're watching it, because I'm very confused even following who's where and how and why. But it is a navigation for drivers that don't generally deal with this, do they? Because usually used to a few cautions there where they bunch everybody back up, everybody gets back in their positions, and it's like go again. But now they have to struggle with different strategies, different tires, and a circumstance of navigating traffic without losing time. So I'm loving it. Let's bring it.
It makes things exciting. It adds another layer to that oval track racing strategy that we talk about. And yes, oval track racing has strategy. We harped on it a lot earlier in the broadcast. And if you missed it, I'm just going to say it's a lot more than turning left. And I'll let you rewind and watch it after this race. Don't go anywhere yet, because you got plenty coming. Oh, who was that? That's the 78. And I believe the 28, Harkham and Harmon battling it tight. And look at the side of that 28 car. It is absolutely banged up there. It is scraped all the way up one side down the
He's made the background battlefield position as well, too. So 24 machines. Look at this very one. The Ben Harkham and the Ben Harmon are going for it too for now. Remember, there's also lap traffic. This is what I love about this. Lap traffic's coming into play. And the lap traffic is also battling out for their racing, remember, that's going on between them. Justin's gone into pit road. So there it is. Kyle should be our race leader at no time flat. We'll keep an eye on this. keep an eye on that one. You can see on the track map, there's the one. So he's straight into that. One's already going into turn down to the backstretch. But here right now is Matty. Is he set up the inside there, 24 machine. On the outside there is Ben, the 78 machine. And remember, they are on similar pit strategies. Lurking in the background. That's a battle for P9. 3 wide. There could be 3 wide. I told you about a possibility of that. You said it's not possible. Oh, well, then again, we didn't get it, did we? Close, but no cigar.
Man. I didn't say it wasn't possible. I just said it's not a good idea there. And Hyatt in P2, 13 and a half seconds back there on Kyle Grzech, but navigating through that lap traffic very, very well there.
He got out ahead of Dustin, but look at the Dustin right on his rear pipe. And more than anything, that remember Dustin's come out. His tires are about 20 laps older. So remember, Ryan has the best. Sorry, who just boxed him? I'm confused right now. No, it was Justin. That's right, Justin. God damn it. I was looking through the telemetry. Justin was the one that boxed on 138, 136. We're on 140, right? Yep. So he's got fresh boots. Look, he's pushing because there's no way he can go out the rear end sliding out because of the tires. He's just gunning it. He is all by himself. You can see on the track map down the back stretch. He's got 7 up the road, 7th position, of course. Cameron Kane. That's not enough time, is it? 31 laps to go. You're gonna have to shave 1.5 seconds per lap to even get anywhere back to the position he was. But Kyle, of course, well, he's okay. He's got 13-second gap. Kyle, well, I don't know. I really don't want to pull a driver in, isn't it, during green flag? But it almost feels like he has it in the bag. But the biggest problem, Kyle, if this was a road race, I would. But he has lap traffic to deal with, and that's not easy.
Yeah, it's Kyle Grzech in a league of his own, but I still don't want to do anything to compromise it. I don't want to be known as the broadcaster who came in, streamed it, and then just ruined it because I decided I wanted to talk to him. We'll save it for after the race. We'll let him run these next 28 laps clean and smooth through. But yeah, Justin Bentley waited way too long to pit. I know, I would love to hear exactly why.
And he's got traffic. Look at this. He's going to slice through this driver, and there's no offense, of course, to the driver that's there. It's just that he's got the fresh boots. He's got brand new, sparkling. It's like that fresh car smell, isn't it? All the fresh smell that you get out of the tires or whatever. Anything you get, you always know. You get an Amazon package, open another box. If you've got a new keyboard, especially if you've got a brand new GPU for your computer, isn't it? And it's like, $1,200. It smells even better, doesn't it? Because it's expensive. And these graphics are going to look damn fine with that graphics card. That's what Justin's feeling like on these boots right now. He's like, yeah. And look at that. He's slicing through the field. Unfortunately, problem is 27 laps to go. How much slicing can he get done? Look at that. He's easily on the inside there. Trusting the tires. Done. Where is he? P7. Where is he up the road? Well, Jensen's about 1 and change. So, you know what? It's not impossible. There's Jensen. Look at that. So he's going to be approaching this pack at the moment. You've got to remember, too, the other drivers up the road are battling also for position. We are getting a little confused as to where's what because they're a lap down. That's the problem, isn't it? So I'm going to share that telemetry data. But we'll try to Google that information. It's gone quiet in the chat there.
Yeah, it gets weird whenever you start factoring in lap cars, lead lap cars, and that is one of these things with these short track races when they go long. And Justin Bentley, this is a battle for position between Justin Bentley and Jason Benson there in that 42 car, and that is a battle for position.
It's got him already, mate. I'm telling you,
Justin
tires.
Bentley all the way through.
He's got Al up the road. This is it. Next up, Al. Look at this. Maybe this is a good strategy. We didn't know it. He was in the lead of this one, and now he's driving around cars like taking candy from a baby. And Al is no baby. Baby. And look at that. 16 machine flying. Absolutely flying. He's supercharged turbo. And look at that. He's going out to Kyle, the race leader. He's going to unlap himself. Will Kyle allow him through, but... this could get spicy and dicey.
Kyle thought about the block, Biggles. Yeah. Kyle thought about the block and thought better of it. So Justin Bentley unlaps himself, but now he's got 23 seconds to make up to get around here to get back behind Kyle Grzech if he wants to fight for the lead.
Right.
He's got 22 laps to do it. 23.
Think about this.
Yeah.
23 to go, a second a lap, which is he's doing essentially at this point. Look at that. I mean, you're talking about Kyle, who's no slouch at the moment. We're leading. He's just, look at the distance he's already got on Kyle. Of course, Kyle is thinking about it. Kyle's got 11 seconds to P2. I do want to focus on Justin. It's probably the closest battle at the moment. I want to see how far. Predictions out there in the chat. Do you feel that Justin, who was leading this race a little bit earlier there, he's down 4 positions, but he has the pace from qualifying. Do you think the 16 machine get a podium at best? Currently, the podium positions are Kyle, Ryan, and Dustin. At the speed he's doing, I don't know. I mean, look what he on the track map. So he's got a gap. He has a couple of cars to go through, and I'm talking about a couple of cars. He's literally going to unlap Sid. Actually, is Sid legitimate Sid? That's Sid. Look at Sid up the road there. That's for position. He's cutting that quick.
Oh my god!
Are you kidding me?
Mate, what has he had for
When
dinner
did he go?
or breakfast? He might do this.
Look at the speed difference. You got to remember, we're talking about 102 lap tires, last lap for pit stop for Sid. He's driving it around him like it's nothing. And Sid is no slouch. None of these drivers are slouches. It just goes to show he's got the best boots in town for walking. The Kentucky driver says, hey, man, have you ever drank bourbon before? Fuel this goddamn 16 machine with it, and I will slice through it like Kentucky is slicing through the field here, the triple bypassing league. He's on for a podium. Dustin's up the road. How far? Well, look at that telemetry information. You think that would be a far, but you've got 18 laps to go. And if he slices into that field, then yes, I think he's got a podium. I really do.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking to Justin Bentley after the race, and I can ask him and say, what did you do down in Jenkins to get that speed? And believe it or not, I've been to Jenkins a few times. I know that hometown. I know where he's at. I've got friends and family in Jenkins. So I can ask him and say, what did you do in Jenkins to get that fast in the Gen 4 car? Because look at that. He's already on the back of Barton. He's already on the back of Dustin Barton. And watch this. I think he's going to have him coming out of 2.
He's already
look
got
at
him.
Justin Bentley up the inside, and there it goes.
Oh,
He's
my
got it before
God.
turn 1. Justin Bentley into P3, and now he's got 19 seconds to make up on Kyle Grzech, and he might turn me into a believer. I might be a believer here for Justin Bentley. Hold on. He might have P2 coming to him. He's got 5 seconds to make up here on Ryan Hyatt. Man, he might make me a believer.
You know what they say, don't stop believing. You do not stop believing. Foreign did not stop believing, and I tell you what, right now, Justin has not stopped believing, because I thought for a second a podium was at best he could do. Forget about that. Justin's like 15 laps to go. Well, I think Ryan's up the road there, 40 machine. Let me have a little go at Ryan. You can see Ryan at the moment track map. That's more important, isn't it? So they are approaching turn. Ryan's just past traffic. There's another thing at the moment that's going to probably hurt Justin a little bit. He's got 2 cars of traffic to deal with. Then Ryan, I don't think there's any chance he's going to take our driver of the day, of course, of Kyle. The sexy man himself has got this one in the bag. I mean, as great at Justin, and you got to remember too that Justin is pushing these fresh boots as hard as possible, which means they're overheating, they're sliding. He knows for a fact that with 13 to go, they ain't gonna last too long. At some point, they're gonna reach their cliff, and they are done and dusted. But he's gonna charge. He's gonna charge Ryan down for the very final time, and see if he can take that P2. Why not? Go for it. And the traffic may be the only thing in play. We'll see.
Hey, Biggles. Last lap, Justin Bentley, 23.0. Last lap, Ryan Hyatt, 23.7. He might have it. I tell you what, he might have it, and he's got to hold on to it. If that lap traffic doesn't get in the mix, he's got that P2. If he can hold on to it, and if he can keep the car under him, he just needs to keep it moving forward, keep the car under him, and stay cool, calm, and collected through the end of this race. We're 12 to go now, and man, it is coming up. But these cars in front of him, that is the lap traffic. That's P11 and P10 battling out. That's Ben Harcum and Matthew Harmon that are battling for position here on track that he is coming up on, and they are not gonna look very kind to letting Justin Bentley on the charge for that P2. So Justin Bentley's gonna have to make some real abrasive moves around those two. As we come around 11 to go now, and Biggles Jenkins Kentucky has got it in the mix.
Where do you go? Where does he go at the moment? Because they're battling. He knows they're battling as well too. He doesn't want to get in this wars. He's like, I'm quicker, guys. Just let me through the middle, perhaps, on the inside there. I've got the grippier tires. He's got to think about it. Think about it. Yes, he's on the gas. Go on. Thank you, gentlemen. You can continue your race. Oh, a little twirly-whirly up the road there. And he needs to sneak up the inside here. Once again, trusting your tires. Remember, at this point, just thinking, well, my tires may be starting to fall off the cliff. But look at that now. On the back stretch, there's a 2 machine. The next one up, you can see visually, is Ryan. That's number 2. That's not lap car. That is Ryan. So he has 9 to go, and he has to push. You go, that's a bit of time to get, but anything can happen, and this is it. So a podium's there. You got to remember too, if you're thinking in Justin's mind, if I was a race engineer, I'd be like, Justin, we have a P3, all right? You've got the bubbly stuff on the podium. Do you want the extra half an inch step for P2, or you're going to be happy for P3? That's up to him.
Do you really think a race driver, if they think they've got P2 as a chance, they're going to be happy with P3? No. He is going to push this car for the next 8 laps and go for that P2 all the way through. And I'll tell you what, he's not looking half bad. And now we're looking at Ryan Hyatt here in that P2. And you can see him just back on the back of the screen. Ryan Hyatt's getting around the 32 at the moment. And that is Rogers. That is Marty Rogers he's getting around. He's trying to put a car in between him and between Justin Bentley. And that might be the key here, Biggles. And he gets that lap car between.
I love the chat out there from Derek. He's like, that car's running on moonshine. It definitely is at the moment. Look at this. Look how close he is. The car's running in here. He got some goddamn, but I don't want to quote one of our fantastic casters that we've had join here recently on JP Broadcasting. He's like, he's got beef. They got me door banging, and you know what? You want some moonshine? Well, he's fueled this machine up for the Jenkins. Kentucky, he's going to have the inside there. That's helped him big time. I mean, this is not to take it away, obviously, from our race sponsor. Kyle has this one in the bag, right? Look at that on the track map. Kyle has it. Kyle's easy peasy. He's just driving, you know. He can pick up there, pulls aside there, sign some autographs, and then still win this race. But the battle for P2 is it. I mean, we didn't think Justin was even possibly going to think about P2. I don't know. Can he get it done? Ryan is here. It's not that bad. There's Ryan. Okay. Why is the telemetry showing a little bit of a huge difference here between the drivers? I'm a little bit confused on that, because there they are. That's not... Oh, yeah, sorry, it's showing the overall gap between leader. Okay, there it is. But it is on your pictures. That is the battle for P2. I think, I don't know, because you remember too, Justin's pushed his tires to the absolute limit. He's burnt through them. Maybe Ryan's been told that from his race engineer to say, okay, you know, he's burning, so defend. We'll find out right now. Let's go live. Dying stage, 3 to go.
3 to go at this point, and it is Hyatt and Bentley. This is going to be your battle, Biggles. This is going to be what determines it all. Watch this. Up the inside is going to go Justin Bentley. Justin Bentley trying to go up the inside on Ryan Hyatt, and Ryan Hyatt ain't going to have it here. Side by side, they come out onto the backstretch, and look at this. It is side by side still, and they're going, and 40 gets to the brakes a little bit. He's going to try to run it out of 4. He's going to hold on to it. We're coming 2 to go at the line here, and look at this. Bentley and Hyatt still side by side. They are not letting it go all the way to the line. This is going to run, but I don't think that Ryan Hyatt has the pace to hold on to it. He's trying to make that middle line work, and he can't. And it is number 16, Call Me a Believer, as our race leader starts the final lap. Justin Bentley, take a bow. I don't even want to call it a recovery drive. It was just a mega drive. Started P1, late pit stop. We all said, what are you doing? And he brings it into P2. Kyle Grzech coming around here, going through, and our race leader is coming out of 4 now, and he is gonna bring it around town, and Sexy Waltrip brings Sexy back to victory lane. Kyle Grzech brings the win in for Richmond, Virginia. The hometown native wins his home track, and how fitting is that, Biggles?
And Bradley brings Sexy back, of course, to the commentating booth, and there it is, Kyle! You've done it, my friend! You've done it with style there. 4 positions gained. He knows it, and there it is, my friend. What a race. And you have to give it, obviously, isn't it, Justin? What a amazing. But Carl, we forgot about you, Carl. We don't forget about your course race sponsor. And, you know, give us a couple of burnouts, my friend. All right, you get paid the big bucks for it. You paid the big bucks for it as our race sponsor. So, there it is.
Hey, he paid for the race. He gets to burn it down. He can do what he wants right now. He paid for the whole thing. Man, congratulations, Kyle Grzech.
He didn't pay for a race win, did he? He actually earned that. On track and in performance. You can't buy a race win.
Yeah, not in iRacing at least. I mean, now, granted, what you do in real life, I have no way of knowing about, but hey, Kyle Grzech, hats off for a run, and he is going to make sure that there are no tires left on that 27 when he is done tonight. Good thing that you can press a couple buttons and just get a fresh set of tires on those cars. And look at the flag man. Barney's just kind of like,
Yeah.
all right, Kyle, bring it around. Let's go. And here we go. He's just going
He's
to
like,
run
Carl,
it.
you got a 30-second penalty for that burnout illegally. Look at that. He's on a race control at the moment. I'm sorry, you just lost the race win. Sorry. No, we wouldn't do that to Carl, would we? Anyway, official race results coming out. Well, unofficial race results coming out for you right now.
And Kyle Grzech brings in the win. Justin Bentley with a charge that will go down in the history books. Up into the P2. I can't wait to ask Justin Bentley what he put in that car, because moonshine, bourbon, I don't care what it was. There was a ferocious speed in that car. Ryan Hyatt with a beautiful third place as well. Dustin Barton, fourth place. Sid, P5, respectable P5 there from Sid, starting in 8th place. Jason Benson started P11, finished P6. Al Corey stays in the mix, 9th to 7th. Cameron Kane, I want to mention Cameron Kane for a second, started last and finishes 8th. Good recovery drive from Cameron Kane. Matt Parasini was in the mix a lot, started 7th, finished 9th. And Ben Harcum, the big upset of the race, started 2nd place, was in the battle a lot for the front, and ended up finishing out P10. Matthew Harmon, 11th. John Crutchley, 12th. Oliver Turin, 13th. Marty Rogers, 14th. Joshua Corner in 15th. And Mark Herzog, down 51 laps, did not finish this race. Had to send it to the garage for some sort of mechanical issue. But that's our 16 cars that have ran through. And Biggles, what do you say we hear from our Sexy Waltrip 127 sponsor, from Kyle? Waltrip.
We have to, and remember everybody out there, predictions all null and void for all of us. One safety car. One. Over to you, the champ.
All right, Kyle Grzech, the race winner by 11.6 seconds. Sexy Waltrip on YouTube. Go give him a follow. Kyle, tell me, how's it feel to win the race that you sponsored, the home race, and win it by 11.5 seconds?
Feels rigged, man. No, that was a ton of fun. My engine just blew up. Yeah, Richmond, this place is incredible. I know not a lot of people love this place, but I've been going here since I was probably 6 years old. I actually got to see at least one Gen 4 race here, so yeah, just felt really good about my tire wear. Bentley was doing a really, really good job, but he maybe went a little too aggressive on the strategy. Ben had a connection issue, but yeah, also Ben, shout out to Ben. Ben's another guy that's somewhat local, so he goes to here a lot, so it's kind of a home track for him too. Sucks to have a connection thing kind of mess with him there, but yeah, I'm tired, I'm sweaty, I'm out of breath.
Man, that was a good drive there, Kyle. Kind of talk me through what your plans were in that race, because you were pretty well in the mix all the way through from what I can tell and what I, was watching. It seemed like you were in the mix through. Any sort of specific strategy you were looking at going into this? I know we talked to you before the race and you were predicting a couple of cautions. We ended up only having one. So how'd that kind of alter your plans for when you pit what you did with just those 3 limited tire sets?
Well, I felt like we were going to have a clean race, and I felt like when we got going there, I felt like we were going to have a green flag run all the way to the end, because we've been able to do that multiple times. So I was just kind of focusing on the tire wear there. I wish the first run actually went green to the end, because I was just sitting behind Ben and Bentley just going at it, and I'm just sitting behind riding and watching them, and I was like, man, this feels pretty good. But then the caution came out and kind of uprooted that plan.
Yeah, it was real interesting to watch. And then, big question, other question I got to ask. How does the lap cars kind of affect things for you? And how do you plan when you're dealing with lap traffic on a short track like this? Is there anything special you do to make sure that doesn't affect your race and kind of knock you back any?
There's not too much you can do, because you're going to run across people regardless. We do a fairly good job, this group, of being very respectful of people's positions. But when we're at these racetracks where there's such a high pace difference in tires, you might have somebody who is in 15th place, but they're the fastest car on the racetrack. So you're just kind of catching people, and you're kind of taking it situation by situation on kind of what to do. I got stuck behind, I think it was Sid, for a while, just because he had better tires than me. But yeah, you just have to kind of read the situation, and you gotta just focus on what you're doing. Because if your tires are better, you can make pretty easy work of getting around somebody. Just kind of set up your entry and get underneath of them, because most people will be respectful of your situations.
Yeah, for sure. Biggles, any questions?
Oh, yeah, I have a list of questions at the moment, but we won't go through all the list of questions. But Kyle, you're so cool, calm, and collective. Are you the Iceman of the next gens? I'm not sure if you ever heard the Iceman term, of course, with Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh man,
back
I
in
watched
Formula 1.
I watched the formulas. Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, you see cool, calm, and collective. Like, is that a part of the strategy that you had? You gained 4 positions in that. Your qualifying was a little bit down, but qualifying is one thing, race results are another. You seem to be like timing your way through the lap traffic well. And so you get a little wiggly and swiggly at certain points. But yeah, I mean, everything worked out. The lap traffic, I have to say, the other day, wasn't it? Because of the only one safety car, your navigation to that field was the key, wasn't it? Bringing sexy back, I think, is exactly what Bradley said.
Yeah, bringing it back to the front. Yeah, like the wiggling around and stuff. The front straightaway. I don't know if you guys were listening in, but I think at a certain point, probably 20 laps into the run, you're not running full throttle down the front stretch. It's if you go full foot down, you're gonna spin out. So yeah, these things are absolute beasts. I forget the original question that you asked, but
oh, it's fine. You already answered that. It's fine. Like you see at the moment, at the race start, at the moment going up the high line. Yeah. Well, Carl, it doesn't really matter, isn't it? How the race starts. It's what you do. You avoid all the incidents. So only one incident, really, majorly. But the traffic was the key. Sorry, yeah.
You called me the Iceman. I will. I will rebuttal that. I'm not very calm, cool, and collective, because if I feel like somebody's
yeah, and the cockpit is probably like, yeah, get out of my yeah, get out of my but then again, when he's in an interview room, he's like, yeah, it's okay, yeah. And you didn't feel any threat from Justin at the end, right? Justin was a little bit too day late, dollar short, but you might have heard from an engineer going, Justin's now P5, P4, P3, P2. You're like sitting there going, lap counter, all right, I don't think he has time to catch me in P1.
Well, Richmond is really, really bad with tire wear. It's one of those awesome racetracks that just destroy your tires. So I was sitting there I was sitting in front of him, and when he unlapped himself, I was like, okay, how long is he
We saw that, didn't we? Sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
You let him through?
Well, he's on so much fresher tires. I mean, I couldn't do anything. He goes by me, and then the next lap he gained like 1.1 seconds on me, and he was like 22 seconds behind me with 22 to go. So if you do the math at that moment, you're like, oh, he's gonna get there. But I guess his tires started to fall off as the run went on, and they started to equalize more with mine, which kind of helped me out.
That's interesting to ask you at the moment too. Like, you felt that, let's say for example, this race went on for another 2 laps, he would have been on your tailpipe. That would have been a situation where you would have gone, well, I have to fight for this. I have to fight for it, don't I? Because if I don't do it now on his fresh boots, he's going to get me. So you calculate. How do you calculate it all in your mind in an instant when you're racing?
I have wonderful, wonderful overlays where I can see where multiple people are. I got standings on the left-hand side, and I can see the gap. And I also have my my dash panel on my phone that kind of gives me some information. But yeah, I mean, it's just, we've been racing with everybody for so long that, you get used to kind of what people try to do and just kind of how races play out. So like, yeah, it's just, what he's trying to do, staying out that long. You're like, he's going to wait and have the fresher tires at the end. But, you sit there and you take in the information and you start to rationalize what actually is going to happen. Because with 7 to go, he was probably like 16 seconds behind me. So I was like, I don't think that's mathematically going to work out now that the tires have started to drop off.
Yeah. And on top of my final question before we pass it back over to the wonderful Bradley, we watched you on board, of course, because you're today's race sponsor. You're qualifying. You messed up the outlap, right? And that compromised your overall chance of getting pole position, but you still recovered. What happened there?
In qualifying, you run the high line coming out of pit road to get kind of momentum down the front straightaway. It's maybe like 1/10 of a second. But coming out of turn 4, I think it was a little too low and just kind of asking too much out of the car. So I was dead sideways. I probably cost myself 1/10. So I was probably on track to probably get third or second in qualifying, but I just got dead sideways, and that was coming to finish my first lap, so it messed up my second lap.
So sorry, last question. Of course, I'm dipping in again. If you didn't make that mistake, do you think you could have got it on pole?
No.
All right.
Bentley was a little too.
And do you think that would have made any difference anyway? Because you still managed to get 4 positions again anyway. So.
It maybe would have. I probably would have been more aggressive at the front part of the run, trying to lead some laps. I always try to lead a lap so I can get a bonus point because we're looking at the championship standings.
Which I'll show up right now on the screen. Anyway, that's my final question, Bradley.
Kyle, championship leader, today's race sponsor, Home Track. I'm going to give the floor to you. Anyone you want to thank, anything you want to say. It is all yours, and then we'll let you go for this Saturday or Sunday evening.
Yeah, first, the league. The league is awesome. If anybody's watching this that's, interested in stock car stuff or maybe even some other things, we got King of the Hill that does a kind of a variety series and just kind of whatever random car on whatever random track. Yeah, come join the league. This admin team is awesome. Everyone does a fantastic job. And then, yeah, check out my YouTube. I need to hit my 4,000 watch hours and get my 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized.
What's your YouTube? We'll throw that into the chat, actually, if you don't mind DMing. Well, just DM it somewhere at the moment. I'll throw it in the chat, actually, because I have the admin powers that be. Congratulations, Carl. It's the only driver at the moment in the standings here for the 4Gen that has 2 wins to his name, especially with only 2 more races to go. Well, one more race, of course, to go. So, you think you got it? Wait, the trophy's yours. 396 points going to this round and a race win.
I might. I don't know if it's counting my weeks or not, but I don't know.
Marty finished in P14, just to let you know on that one, so he hasn't got a gaggle of points. And Ben, as you also are aware, finished down there in P10th, so we won't spoil it for everybody out there. To find out, of course, you have to click on the links there and jump into the Discord and find out. Otherwise, of course, hit the bells and subscribe. Find out for the finale. But yes, Carl, once again, anybody you thank, of course. And is it yours? Is it yours? Come on, honestly, come on. Just whisper it to my ear. Nobody's listening.
Mathematically, it looks good at the moment. If we're going on a forecast, we have a high percentage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that answer. That's a respectable race car driver's answer there. So, like I said, Mr. Sexy Waltrip, we will let you get on with your evening here. Get nice and relaxed for Sunday, getting ready for your work week. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you guys for broadcasting this. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was your race winner, Kyle, Sexy Waltrip, Grzech. And this is usually a time where I'd pull in our P2, Justin Bentley, and I'd ask Justin what they do to get that Gen 4 so fast. But Justin Bentley, just to add to the mix of the pace and everything, I went and asked Justin Bentley and said, hey, jump back in. We need to steal you for an interview. I need to know how you drove so fast. Just to add to the impressiveness, Justin Bentley has COVID-19.
Oh, God.
Ran that race with COVID.
Justin.
And recovered for a P2. He said I was going to park the car and suffered through it. So we won't get an interview from our P2, but I tell you what, Justin, I just recovered from it. I hope you get better, man, because it is not fun.
Yeah, Justin, please elaborate into either Discord chat or obviously on the broadcast chat. We'll relay the information if you like. I mean, obviously, if you don't feel like chatting, of course, and you're under the weather. Certainly one under the weather in the last couple of laps that he had. He was fighting the virus that he had, of course, and he was fighting the rest of the track. But he got, what was it when he came out of pit road? It was down to about P7 or something like that, wasn't he? And just like sliced through the field like butter.
He was like 35 seconds down after the pit stop and brought it all the way back.
He was a lap down, wasn't he? Yeah.
Man.
Well,
so
anybody? We have Ryan here for the P3 position.
Yeah. Let's grab Ryan real quick and let's have a quick convo with him there. Ryan, welcome to the booth with Brad and Biggles. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. You?
We are good. I got to ask you how you feel about that P3, because that was I thought you had P2 in the bag, and then Justin came flying through, and I believe someone had told me that you and Justin are teammates, if I remember right.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah,
So,
we run for M&T, and it's kind of like a team that doesn't really act like a team. We just go out and send it.
fair enough.
But
I
we still
respect
try to
it.
give each other as much respect as possible, you know?
Right, that is the big key with things. So, Ryan, kind of talk me through your race there. It seemed like that one caution has really caught a lot of people off guard because we ended up with only 5 cars on the lead lap. You being one of them, kind of talk me through what you did to find yourself up there in P3 in the end.
I just wanted to keep myself off the wall, honestly. That was the biggest key because I didn't really get that much of a long run in practice. I was kind of messing with Matt a little bit just to mess with him. And so I didn't really get a good long run in. And so that first run we had up until the yellow, I kind of was just trying to figure out what was going to happen. And I just basically wanted to keep it off the wall and keep it going straight. That's about it.
Honestly, sometimes keeping it off the wall and keeping the car straight is the best you can do, though. And obviously, it worked out for you. Ryan, kind of talk me through. I'm going to ask you just because Justin Bentley pitting with 30 laps to go and comes flying up behind you. What was your strategy there going into that? How did you just let him go, or did you fight it a bit more?
I kind of figured that if I pushed up the track, then I'd let him go. But if he wasn't really, if it was kind of like maintaining the same speed there, then I kind of would just like try to fight it. But I pushed up one time and he just got around me, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
Honestly, it makes sense there. And then kind of talk me through what you're looking at with the next round, how you feel about next week, next round.
I haven't even looked ahead. I just rarely get to run on Sundays, so whenever I get to make it, I make it. And let's see here. Where is next week? Homestead. If I can make it, then I'm just looking to kind of just run a smooth race there because I know that place can get squirrely on the right rear. But if it comes down to a green, white checkered or something, then obviously go as hard as I can. But kind of same thing as tonight, honestly.
Ryan, it's the Outback Australia, mate. I didn't let you know. We got this little this track in Australia that nobody even knows. We're going to throw a sparrow in the mix on that one. But you had I mean, you started in P3, great qualifying performance. You finished in P3, little lonely race, I'd have to say, and amongst all the mix. But when Justin was approaching you at absolute full speed on fresh boots, I'm not quite sure if you were aware of that. Your engineer let you know about that one. How was the battle pursuing there? I'm going to look at the replay right now on the screen there. How was that for you at that point?
I mean, it was just one of those things where if he got inside me, I knew I could kind of run a high line, but with the newer tires, then it was just one of those things where I kind of was a sitting duck, but at the same time, I figured like maybe they might have balanced out a little bit, but my right front, I kept pushing it off the right front and would slide sometimes in the middle of the corner. So once I figured that out, that was going to happen, then I was just like, all right, cool, I'll just take P3 and go on.
You held him for very long because, I mean, you might not be aware until you watch the broadcast back, but he had to push those tires like mad for many, many laps to catch up to you. It was probably even trying to catch up to Kyle to win this race. But at that point, I mean, it didn't really show up too much in that replay there, but, you know, he pushed, and you weren't, you know, just letting him by, waving, putting your hand out the window, rolling the window down, going, yeah, go past. No, you were battling, and it took some time at that point, and that was like the question we were asking up in the commentary booth there, that perhaps he's met his match at this point when the tires are starting to burn off in the dying stages of this race. But still, I guess, maybe a few more laps on the tires that he had got it done. And, you know, nothing against you, because I'm even looking at the replay at the moment. Justin's rear end of the car is just sliding everywhere because he's pushing it like mad. But, you know, yourself, my friend, I always say consistency is king, isn't it? Sometimes a P1, a P2, or a P3 doesn't really make a difference. But if every race you can get a P2 or a P3, you win the championship. So, yeah, who cares if somebody overtakes you, right? At the end of the day, it's about getting on the podium. The bubbly stuff's yours.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, basically I try to approach everything the same and just try to run my race, and then whatever happens, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then oh well, at least I'm out there to learn something.
And Ryan, my final question, I've asked so many questions today, but it's because I
you're
need to
good,
learn a
man.
lot about this about oval racing. Traffic as well was the key thing today because we had one caution. Out there in the chat, there was a prediction of 7. I predicted 5. Well, I think 6. My lovely co-commentator predicted 4, but we had 1. How does that strategy change, and how did you have to deal with the traffic all over the track?
Basically, I feel like a lot of the guys. There's me messing with Matt again.
Yeah, I was at the
Anyways,
end of the race, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, for the most part, I feel like most of the guys in our league are very respectful to where if you've got fresh tires and you catch them and they're on a different strategy than you, then unless it's like the last 5 laps, then for the most part, they're going to let you like race your own race, if that makes sense. And that's one thing I really like about this league is that there's a lot of respect given for the most part. Obviously, there are some run-ins, but it seems as if like you're on a mad difference on a tire strategy like that, then for the most part, everybody just kind of does their own thing. And if you're way faster, then they don't want to wreck. And I know I don't want to wreck. So it's like you just kind of give and take a little bit more, it seems like, with this league.
And one last question for me again, because I'm going to keep asking one last question. The central machine racing shop that you have on the livery of your car, I see
Yes,
that. What do they do? So, and how can anybody could be a part
That
of
is my family's machine shop. We do a lot of specialty parts, a bit of mining hydraulic stuff, just some odds and ends for the coal mining industry. We don't do too much automotive, but we do stuff for like Gates rubber, which is like the belts and the hoses that go into cars. We do a little bit for them. Do a little bit for Eastman Chemical Company. Other than that, you could go to centralmachineshop.com and that's how you'd find us. But we're based out of Bristol, Virginia, which is right across the border there from Bristol, Tennessee. And yeah, so we've been around since 1975, getting ready to hit quite a big milestone
You
here in
haven't
the next
been
couple
around
years.
since 1975, have you, Ryan?
No, I have not.
I was going to
I'm
say.
only about to turn 30.
I was going to
The machine shop itself has been around since
It seems like you've been
1975.
racing since 1975, considering you got that fantastic result in P3 there. I've stolen the show again. Yep, congratulations, my friend. Over to you, to my lovely broadcaster, of course, Bradley.
30 seconds for you, Ryan. Floor is yours. Anyone you want to thank? Anything you want to say? We'll let you go.
I just want to thank Kyle for putting the broadcast on again this week, and it's been fun having the last 2 of these broadcasted. I just am glad to be able to race on Sundays when I can due to life, but other than that, I want to thank you guys for doing a great job up in the booth as always.
And we thank you for putting on a good race every time we see all of these amazing drivers at Triple Bypass here on the track. So, Ryan, we'll let you go and get ready for your work week, and we will let you go here to wrap up our broadcast. And thank you again.
All right. Thank you all. Y'all have a good one.
You as well. All right, Biggles. Well, I tell you what, that is a good way to round out a Sunday night. And if you're still awake and you're watching here on Eastern Standard Time, it might be time to get ready for your work week. So, Biggles, any final thoughts before I wrap this thing up?
Thank you for sharing the booth again and the production trail that I am pushing all the buttons at the back there. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you back in the booth there, and I'm sure everybody's going to appreciate that. Watch it back there, gentlemen that are racing, of course, because they can't watch it whilst they're racing. And if they are, well, the fence is going to be very closer than what you predicted. Over to you, my friend.
All right, and of course, on behalf of Biggles here, my name is Brad or Bradley, whichever way you want to call me, and here at JPBroadcasting.com, bringing you some amazing iRacing action with the Triple Bypass Racing League. We are going to call it until the next one. Good night and bye-bye.
Triple Bypass Racing is a NASCAR-inspired iRacing league founded by a group of friends, some of who have been racing together for more than 20 years. They are an inclusive group of sim racers who enjoy competition based on respect for fellow drivers and fun on and off the track. Triple Bypass is building a great community and a place for you to race for years to come. Join them today by visiting Triple Bypass Racing.